What?
Yes. Hold on 1 second.
I ain't holding for nothing.
Okay, let me get a test.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Yes, no, maybe. Testing.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
What's good?
Not much, man. Just enjoying what's a little bit of this nice day before the rain comes in. So, you guys left.
Let's do it.
Yeah, in advance. My apologies to everyone for being the bearer of bad news. Although everyone kind of knew the two fights that were falsely reported were in fact falsely reported.
Well, let me ask you this question. Hold on 1 second. I gotta get. Hold on. Let me get to YouTube. Okay, the YouTube back up. All right. Let me ask you this question. We on why do you say that was that the wrong? You saying the fight hasn't been agreed to, or you just saying that's the wrong date?
Kind of both. I'm not. Look, I don't want to create a narrative that the fight's not going to happen, but it's not July 22nd. There is no agreement in place for them to fight on July 22nd. I don't even know if there's an agreement yet in place for them to fight. So.
Okay, because we heard the trainer. Did you hear about that? The trainer of let me tell you exactly what he said. I don't want to misquote the guy because I wasn't on the space when it happened, but several people were, and they excuse me, they started reporting it as soon as it happened. It is Emmanuel Rodriguez, coach, was on his space saying his guy versus Melvin Lopez is supposed to be on the Spence Crawford undercard, either July 22nd or also the 15th. Right. Also, that he was at the Tank Ryan fight and was told the only hitch left was Bud's agreement.
Okay.
So that was what was reported by Emmanuel Rodriguez's coach. I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm going to put this out there, and if anyone here is part of a major boxer, Al Heyman's not alone in this, but there are people who are very clever about putting information out there just to see who is going to leak it, so they can find out who was the leak. That is the case here. They found out who was leaking shit when the Ring ran that story.
And
Rodriguez's camp has several members, including his own promoter, Juan Marengo. He has a very big mouth. He always goes to the Puerto Rican media. I know for a fact they've fed him quite a bit of information that he goes back and he runs, and I ask him, like, is this true? And they're like, no. But now they know.
Well,
now I am not saying he is the one who leaked it to the Ring. I think I know who leaked it to the Ring, but everything I was told, the fight is not happening July 22nd. I know. Well, I know. I have a letter saying when Rodriguez and Melvin Lopez are fighting, and it's not July 22nd.
Well, like I said, what's my man? Elvis Rodriguez was supposed to fight November 19th.
Right.
And it never happened. So just because you get a date, don't mean that it's going to happen.
Right. So I even joked about this yesterday. I forget to who it was. We're right back to where we were last fall. All these fighters were being told they're all fighting in November. Now we have a shitload of fighters who are all told that they're fighting in July. And maybe a lot of them will. I mean, I do believe we'll get, in some form, we will get 2 Showtime branded shows in July. But we're back. I have at least, I think the count is up to like at least 8 fights where they all say they're fighting on one of those 2 dates.
Well, how about this? Instead of trying to catch a mole or a leaker, how about nobody just don't say shit?
That's why. I mean, that's how you flush the shit out. It's like, once you start putting out false information, now these people know, like, okay, they're responsible for putting out that bad information. I wrote a story on Sergey Lipinets and Elvis Rodriguez. I didn't want to, but people already started tweeting about it. But the moment I was told, I'm like, are you sure about this? I said, because I told that person, I said, you've been fed information in the past, and we found out it was just to see if you would tell people.
Well, they need to hire private investigators instead of playing with our emotions.
Well, more so, the media just needs to look. Tate does this all the time. The moment he hears a rumor, he goes straight to Stephen Espinoza. And then he goes on record and says, no, Stephen Espinoza said this is not true. That's the simplest way. He's very accessible, right? The people that are involved will tell you straight up whether or not it's true. There's a lot of ways for the media to verify this shit.
Well, I mean, hold on. I don't think somebody, look, if it is true, do you really think he's going to tell, without a formal announcement, he's going to say, yes, it's true?
No, I
without a formal
that I agree 100%. But look, it's easy for media to go to him. He trusts enough media members to where they can flush out something like that. And look, if I'm going to report a date, I'm not saying Emmanuel Rodriguez's trainer is the leak, but if I'm going to report that fight, I'm not going to him. If Derek James tells me that, okay, yeah, then we got something. If Bomac tells me that, then maybe we got something. But someone who's supposed to be on the undercard, that is not going to be my source for an event like that.
That's a very good point about Bomac saying something, because you never know, it could be coming from their side.
I was trying to be as cryptic as possible. I know it didn't come from Spence's camp. That I can 100% verify.
Okay, I get it.
So, but then with this, I mean, it was bizarre that we got this news hours after. Look, I went to bed, and then
you got
heard my phone ding. It was like 4:00 in the morning.
You got him?
Can you hear me?
Hold on 1 second. Matt, take over. I got to do something.
I got you. Next time, just text me. Don't interrupt Jake next time. Thank you. Continue what you were saying, Jake.
Okay, so yeah, I found it bizarre that we get this news hours after. So I went to bed Thursday night or whatever. I got a ding on my phone. I think it was like 3:45 a.m. my time. Oh, we just heard, Fury, Ruiz is telling people that the fight is set with Tyson Fury for July 22nd. People went and reported that. By the time I woke up, Frank Warren had already, disputed. He refuted that news. So, and then hours later, we just get more irresponsibility. I mean, these are two major fights that the media completely bundled.
Now, isn't the guy that wrote the article on Spence versus Crawford, isn't he like the president of the Boxing Writers Association?
I didn't see who wrote this. I just saw it was on.
It was that guy who blocked everybody.
Was it? Oh, okay. Well,
I forgot his name. Joe
Santa Liquida.
Yes, that guy. He's the one that wrote for Ray.
I did not even notice
that.
But
hey, don't get blocked, Jake. Don't get blocked, buddy. But
kick me out all he wants.
So, what have you actually heard that you can maybe not confirm, but you think is on the path of being true as it pertains to what's next for Tyson Fury and what you actually think is next when it comes to Spence and Crawford?
Okay, so look, I do believe there was a lot of interest in a Tyson Fury Andy Ruiz fight. The problem is Andy Ruiz. To my knowledge, it's the same problem we had with Ruiz fighting Deontay Wilder. He just has a ridiculous sense of what he's worth for these fights. He's not going to get that money. So until his demands go down, he's not going to fight Tyson Fury unless the WBC orders Tyson Fury to fight him next, which isn't the case because he's not the mandatory.
And what about for Spence and Crawford?
Look, I firmly believe. Look, we were here last year, but I do believe we're going to get that fight. I believe we probably will get it in July, but it's just not there yet. This fight has been misreported so many times. I don't know why people are still in a hurry to want to be first with it. Like, just let Showtime announce the fight.
So we know it's going to be Showtime. Fox is officially dead. Like, I wanted confirmation on that.
Look, Espinoza seems pretty intimately involved in these negotiations. So.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Now, did you get a chance to talk about the tank numbers and all that?
I saw them reported. I was pleasantly surprised when I heard the day before that, like, people who were tracking them, they were like, "Wow, it looks like this thing might hit 1 million," and that kind of surprised me. Look, everyone knew this was a major event. The biggest concern was how many people were willing to steal the event rather than pay for it. So the fact that it did this, that was, it was, maybe it creates, great optimism for these guys. Okay, now we can do pay-per-view numbers. But look, I'm happy for the event. It tracked well, all throughout fight week. It was, to me, it was, I wasn't crazy about the undercard, but I mean, that really wasn't what the selling point. But the event itself, I thought Tank looked magnificent. I thought Ryan handled himself very well in the feet. Can't say the same for his team. But this event deserved all the success that it got.
Did you go to the event?
No, of course not.
So where the hell were you last week, man? We had to deal with Abraham Gonzalez. Come on.
Yeah, I was just I had some personal shit to take care of.
Oh,
Plus,
okay.
I had to cover the DAZN show during the afternoon.
I thought you had to do a walk with Mauricio last week or
Nah.
something.
Yeah, I did my own walk. Nah, I was busy all day. So everything I would normally do on a Saturday afternoon, I had to take care of Saturday morning.
So what's up with Arnold Barbosa?
Yeah. All right, look, I get, and we've talked about this too. It's like, why do fighters walk away from a fight without seeing what it's worth? So to that point, Barbosa's team, they allowed the purse bid process to go the route that it did. I think Top Rank believed they were going to win that purse bid, and then from that they could pay Liam Paro 60% of that, and then pay Barbosa whatever he's contractually obligated to through Top Rank. The fact that Matchroom won the purse bid kind of lowered what Barbosa would get for a fight like that. So I understand why they walked away at that point. They weren't happy that they were only going to get 40% of a $303,000 purse bid.
Here's what I'm confused about, right? So you said that Top Rank thought they would win the purse bid, and they'll pay Carl whatever he's going to get, and they'll give Barbosa more money. What is stopping Top Rank from still giving Barbosa more money, even though they did not win the fight? I've always been confused about that.
And it's funny you asked that too, because I remember when Josh Taylor was supposed to fight one of his mandatories, and then I forget what purse bid it went. Top Rank kind of said the same thing. They said, well, if Josh went through with that fight, we pay him what we're supposed to pay him or whatever. I don't understand why they just didn't bid a little bit more. I can understand in 2023, why would you think you're going to lose a purse bid to Matchroom, who hasn't, they've had horrible luck. But I just don't understand why they didn't bid, just a little bit more. Once they saw that Matchroom was in the room, it's like, what made you think that, Matchroom would go that cheap? So because Top Rank only put up I think it was 271,000.
That is exactly what they put up. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
But it also shows, well, they both overbid. Come on. Buy tickets to Arnold Barbosa. Come on.
Yeah, look, I'm not saying this is $1 million fight or whatever by any means, but if Top Rank wanted to control it and they saw someone else in the room, you do bump it up a little bit.
Now, what is the next move for Barbosa? Because Rick Merrigan said that they're playing chess. So I need to know what's going on here.
I saw that GIF. Look, whatever. I've given up on this. It's like, Ramirez, who's L-Dub actually, brought this to my attention. The story I wrote last year, how it was Catterall, Jose Ramirez. They were all, furious when Teofimo Lopez jumped the line. And then they all had to explain to the WBO why they should be, in positions for whatever, the number 1 or the number 2 spot. But now, we saw what Ramirez did. He spent all year, he waited for Josh Taylor. That took too long. He decided to get married instead of fighting for the title. Then he walked away from the pro grade fight because he didn't like the split. Fought Richard Comey, and now here he is again. He's the WBC mandatory, and he's next in line to now if he wants to fight Liam Paro. I don't know. If Barbosa turned down this fight, I don't see why Jose Ramirez is going to take this fight.
Well, maybe Top Rank will bid like maybe 272,000 for Jose Ramirez fight.
Well, I did say that if a fight like that goes to purse bid, Top Rank is going to go out of their way to win it. They're not going to let Matchroom control a fight like that. So, and that fight would come with a much more significant bid. I don't know. My sense is Paro is going to wind up fighting Ergashev. Dmitry Salida's undefeated fighter.
Now you did mention Elvis Rodriguez. The Lipinets fight, is that a go? They're working on it. Like, what is?
I was told both sides agreed. To it, and it's going to happen in July.
Okay.
One of many fights that happen in July. But
yeah, apparently all on the same day.
Both sides confirmed to me that they agreed to it.
Okay.
And I think Broadway Joel tweeted this out yesterday that Elvis, agreed to it weeks ago.
Now let's talk about a fight that is actually happening tonight. A fight that you wrote about: William Zepeda versus Jaime Arboleda.
Yes.
First of all, how do you see that going? And why Arboleda for Zepeda when it seemed like he was knocking on contender status?
So this fight was originally supposed to take place on the Tank Davis Ryan Garcia undercard, and then it got moved because, as you know, we're supposed to get the Stanionis Virgil Ortiz fight tonight, but Virgil Ortiz couldn't go through with it because he had a repeat episode with rhabdomyolysis. So Golden Boy needed to keep the date, so they needed a relevant main event. This fight got pushed back. So that's why it was just easier to hold this fight, not break contract with Arboleda. Because then if you go get another opponent, then Arbeleda's team is like, well, now you're going to owe us a fight. So it's just easier to just take this fight, just push it back a week. Now it's on its own show. So that's why Zepeda is here.
And Diego De La Hoya, is he still a thing, or like what are they doing with him?
I know he's fighting an undefeated guy. He made weight, looked very, very soft at 120. I know that was made weight on the first try, so good for him. But you look at his body; he is not a featherweight at all. So, it's a very, very underwhelming undercard, and unfortunately, it's typical of what's been the case with Golden Boy for really more than a year.
Another fight that you wrote about that I'm sure is near dear to your heart. All right, we'll give the women some time. Your homegirl, Franchon Cruz Dezern, going up against Savannah Marshall. First of all, how the hell did we get here with this fight? And like, what's the lowdown with that? Because how did Marshall come off a loss and is just getting another title shot?
Yeah, so Franchon, she's very good friends with Clarissa Shields. I believe she even designed the outfit that Shields wore for that fight with Savannah Marshall. But she was ringside. The process started right then and there. They've always had they've always exchanged words between each other. I'm talking about Franchon and Savannah. After the fight, that seemed like the next course of action for Savannah. She's big for middleweight. She could easily fill up 168. So apparently that fight was always in the works, unbeknownst to the WBC, who, as we mentioned a couple of weeks ago on the show, jumped the gun and ordered Shadeza Green, who is Franchon's mandatory. So she thought she was going to get the title shot, and they were adamant about not stepping down. And the WBC said, well, we screwed up. This fight's already in place, so now you're going to have to wait. But yeah, apparently this has been a thing for, several months. So I knew they were in talks for a while. I didn't know it went, even that far, as far back as October 15th.
And they're obviously fighting in the UK, I'm assuming.
June 17th on the Liam. It's the co-feature of the Liam Smith Chris Eubank Jr. rematch in Manchester.
That should be interesting.
Yeah.
You think your girl gonna pull it off, or
who, Franchon?
Yeah.
Look, I'm always gonna root for her regardless. So. Yeah. Look, I think a lot of people sleep on it. She's not, like this, chiseled up, box or whatever, but she generally always finds a way to win. So.
Yeah, she reminds me a little bit of Dark Chisora. I don't know why. She does. She reminds me of Dark Chisora.
I don't. Okay.
Now this guy, what's this guy? Senzabar? Who is this guy? This fucking guy. He talks shit about Ryan. Now all of a sudden he's fighting on a card in New York yesterday. I never heard of him. I didn't go to the card. Who is this Senzabar guy? Why should we care about him? What's the deal with him?
Senbatar or Denbat. So look, when you take away the ridiculousness of, is he going to fight Javante Davis next? Is he going to fight Devin Haney? He actually has promise as a prospect. I know his team is very high on him. They were talking about even before all this stuff came out about, when he did the video saying, whatever, apologizing for hurting Ryan Garcia during sparring. They knew what they were doing with that. That, everyone all of a sudden was talking about what was otherwise a fight on a club show and not even the main event. But as you mentioned, a Mongolian who trains in LA fighting in New York City on a club show. So, but everyone, he got people to talk about it. So, but he's a work in progress. And that I even tweeted this out. That was, I didn't pay a lot of attention to the show. I saw that Larry Fryers won, which kind of surprised me because I hadn't won in a while. But when I got to that fight, I saw, most of Erdenbat's fight. And then afterwards, like they're already asking, the questions, about fighting. And Lou jumped in and he shut that shit down. He's, I think 6-0 now, and they're going to develop him like a prospect. So I was very glad to hear that. They're not going to, rush him towards the title. He shouldn't be.
Even
He's
though
nowhere
he's
near
famous,
close to that. What's that?
Even though he's famous now?
You're right.
Yeah. Well, was he the mole?
that is one of those people that when he goes into something, he always needs an enemy. Bob Arum was always like that too. So, that's
Yeah, but he's
maybe
not
that's where he
fighting
learned it from.
anymore.
Doesn't matter.
Interesting guy to ask.
I've always wished that they would just let Eric Gomez run the company.
Now,
But this is not where we
is
are.
there anything to this? Bernard Hopkins was banned. I know Brittany Goosen said that was not the case. Have you been
Correct.
able to confirm either which way who is telling the truth in this scenario?
From what I was told, the only place he was banned from was being in the ring on fight night. Other than that, he had an all-access pass to roam as he pleased. He was not banned from T-Mobile. He was not banned from the post-fight press conference.
Did he really rub testosterone cream on? Yo, this fight build up with something else, man. Jesus Christ.
I would like.
Oh boy.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, no, I still look. I'm with Tank. I don't know why Bernard Hopkins was on that side of the stage during that whole the weigh-in, the whole stand out thing. And I said this too. It's like there was way too many people on stage. If they just let Tank and Ryan talk their shit with Tom. Look, Tom Brown is a big dude. He could have broken that up in a heartbeat. Jeff Mullen is a fairly big dude. He could have jumped in the middle. They didn't need all those people on stage. They could have just let them talk their shit, do whatever they wanted, and that would have been a lit way. Instead, we got what we got.
It was entertaining. I think
Who's up?
the biggest winner was Tom Brown's suit jacket, who somehow did not pop. That one button just held on for dear life. Did not
Yeah,
pop the whole time.
my man Tom.
Ah, man. Do you have any stories you're working on that you could talk about? Anything at all?
No, just trying to figure out what PBC fights are for real, and which one's actually happening in July. That's the big investigation process. Yeah.
Uh,
All right,
welcome
I'm back.
back, Lefty. Anything
Matt, hold up, Matt. Guess who on the YouTube
who's
stream?
on a YouTube stream?
Yeah, guess who's in the comment? Guess who's watching?
Who the fuck
Corey.
is Corey?
Murder for hire.
Oh,
Corey.
oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he said,
Someone
"What's
said,
up?"
"What? Is he in the group chat?"
Yeah, he is. He just ain't been
Oh,
on Twitter.
okay. Well, I'm glad he's okay, I guess.
Yeah, he just disappeared. Him and B Dill.
Well, B Dill, he disappeared after we exposed him as light skin. Yeah. Oh man. Now one last thing before we get to questions. You talked about the Canelo Ryder fight, Michael Griffin Tabbs is referee. You got the judges named, all that good stuff. Is this fight, which is next week?
Yep.
Does anybody seem to care about this? Like, what's going on with the fight?
I know. I regret. I was gonna write a story about how after last week, this is like the long road back for the Zone and Golden Boy. But for all the horror stories you heard of people, and I do regret. Like I saw that the Zone was offering the fight. I checked on the website. When I saw that it was $60, I'm like, this has to be a mistake. I'm gonna order it before they realize they fucked up the price and they jack it up. But then they confirmed that it was gonna be $60 on their site for current subscribers, and anyone who wanted to sign up with the Zone would get 25 months, $25 off, basically, 1 month free or whatever. So for all the horror stories you heard from that, it's like, how do people trust them to order, the Canelo fight next week and not expect to experience the same problems? Now, maybe they don't have the same volume, so it won't be an issue next week, but there are a lot of trust issues in place, and already on top of the fact that no one really cared about Canelo Ryder as a pay-per-view event to begin with.
You're such a great guy, Jake. For you to say maybe they won't have the same volume, come on, dude.
So are you saying since they didn't have these problems previously,
exactly,
that
once they got a real fight that people were actually interested in, it's amazing how everything messes up. That just tells you how much these guys be fudging these numbers so much.
Yeah, because they did 800,000 with Triple G and Canelo with no problem, no issues.
Exactly.
Right?
So they said.
Exactly. That is too funny. That is too funny.
Yeah, I know. And there was people just talking shit. I'm like, when you get people like Virgil Ortiz who are complaining they can't watch it through the Zone. I mean, it's like he's a DAZN fighter. He has no motivation whatsoever to lie about something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, have you looked into that at all? Like, where do they stand with what happened and what's going on with the process?
I don't know what their actual involvement is in directly into issuing refunds, but anything that was like if you ordered through the website and it was their fault, some people are claiming they're getting refunds. I've seen people saying that they're offered a redemption code for the Canelo fight, which like you don't want to watch that fight. Why would you accept that code? So it reminds me of like when we had the pandemic and people were complaining that they weren't getting content because they signed up for the annual subscription. They handled that very poorly too. And
yeah, that's how they lost me as a subscriber. I wasn't getting content. I sent them a tweet. They told me to DM them. I DM'd them. They still haven't answered me to this day.
Yeah, they have this.
Yeah, they left you on red.
They didn't read it. They left me on scent.
Yeah, So they got some severe customer service issues.
Well, that's what happens when you close your New York offices, I guess. I mean, who's here to take the complaints?
Right. So, but yeah, it is rough. I mean, this is like they wanted to be involved in this event. Showtime gave in and let them have whatever involvement they had, and this is how they handle it. So
yeah, last time they're gonna be doing something like this, and they got paid for it, by the way. Showtime gave them a fee. Like, come on.
Right, but then now, how much of that money do you have to waste to refund all these dissatisfied customers?
Yeah, well, that's on them, not Showtime.
Sure is.
My Showtime pay-per-view order worked just fine.
Yeah.
And I was able to watch it in the basement of a karaoke bar, so it was working just fine for me.
Yeah. Now I will say I personally did not have any issues with the zone, but I'm not gonna sit here and trump people's complaints with that. So I understand that a lot of people had issues, and there are a lot of unresolved issues, and the zone needs to take care of it.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna start the question portion. So anybody want to get up here and ask questions, you can request.
Yes, ask questions of one of your three great knowledgeable hosts.
Yeah, you can request to speak. When I had to step away and I missed that part about the ending part about these rumors about Bud.
It's a good thing that this is recorded. You can go back and listen to it. We are moving on unless someone else has a question.
For the people in the YouTube chat that also missed, can you just quick summary?
It's still a work in progress.
It's still a work in progress. So, but even though it's still a work in progress, come July, is Spence going with or without Bud?
I don't know how to answer that. Everyone I've spoken to all seem to believe this fight is happening. So I don't really want to create any other narrative.
No. We understand that.
I understand too, and I've said this in the past that this is like they should have learned from last year, where this is something that needs an expiration date. Where it's up to Spence. If Spence wants to sit out until he fights Terrence Crawford, that's going to be his decision. If he wants to fight again, then presumably Keith Thurman would be that alternative. But
yeah, that's what we were talking about.
But I will say
that's what we were complaining about the other day.
I will say from any updates I've gotten, even in the past 2 weeks, I've not heard Keith Thurman's name mentioned once. I've not heard any other opponent's name mentioned once.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna start the questions. Anybody in the YouTube portion want to ask? Just type it in the chat and go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, what's up, fellas? How you doing?
Hello, mate.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'll try to wrap it up into one question because there's so many ways to approach this. But 140, if you can summarize this for me, I'm just trying to think. One, I'm hearing rumors of Matchroom, Prograis going to Matchroom. So that's kind of one world title. It feels like Matchroom are trying to make a play for 140. I'm hearing Hitchens might have a title shot, and the Ergashev thing ain't happening. There's obviously the Rolly thing with Puello testing positive. I don't know how to sum that up. Obviously, I think you've covered the Barbosa stuff already, but I don't know if there's anything really like critical happening in the background we don't know about and you might know about.
So is your question if Regis is...
So Hitchens, I guess I'd like to know.
So it's a general question
on 140.
So it's a general question on 140.
Yeah, just I'm hearing so many different things about how that's going to play out. But
okay, to my knowledge, I do know.
Okay,
so I do know Hitchens' next opponent is not set, but to my knowledge, he is not fighting for a title, and every title seems to be spoken for at this point. So no, to my knowledge, he is not next fighting for a title. Prograis is still a free agent. I've learned that Matchroom is interested and Top Rank is interested.
Cool. So,
yes,
okay, so
as far as
this is rumors at the minute then.
Ergashev does not have an opponent, and to my knowledge, the IBF ran through its entire top 15 and did not find any takers. So I mentioned this earlier. He's Jose Ramirez has now been given a 48-hour notice to say whether or not if he's interested in fighting Liam Paro next. If he's not interested, Ergashev is ranked one spot behind him. So what I would like to see happen, I don't have any inside information on this. What I would like to see happen is that if Ergashev is interested, just make it a double mandatory for the IBF and WBO.
Get the fuck out of here. Come on.
Why not?
Who cares about these guys?
Because why go through this whole fucking process of finding two weaker managers? Just knock it out. Two birds with one.
So are these so these not for vacant belts?
No, this is for elimination.
I care even less.
It's become the mandatory.
I care even less. Right. I thought this was vacant
belts.
Well,
that's what I'm saying. Why? Yeah, it's bad enough to go through this process to fill a vacancy. Why go through this process for an elimination?
You know, you're right. Let them fight each other.
Right? Either that, or just name them both the mandatory. But in
the words of Isaac, two bums. Let them fight each other. You're right. You're absolutely right, Jay. I apologize. Great question, Gary. Okay. I think.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys.
Charles, you have a question, Charles?
Yeah. What's going on, Jay? MVO Lefty. How y'all doing?
What's up?
Happy Jay, quick question. Have you heard anything about that hour-long phone call between Demetrius Andrade and Charlo? Did you ever hear any details about that?
I did not. All I've heard is I know we keep speculating that maybe they're going to fight next. I do know there's a very tight window if Jamal Charlo is going to fight June 17th, which that was the original plan. Then it wasn't the plan. Then it seems to be back in play. But if he is going to fight on that date, they're like really running out of time to find an opponent. And from what I was told, it's not going to be a Selechki type opponent if he headlines the Showtime.
Yeah, because I heard that the phone call actually went good, and this is from somebody close to Andrade, so not Esau.
Look, Andrade is in the right position now to get a fight like that if he still wants that fight, and if more importantly, if Jamal Charlo wants that fight.
And any update on Jamel?
Didn't we also hear Maul say he lost a lot of money on Ryan Garcia? Then the next day said he didn't lose no money on Ryan Garcia.
Yeah.
Hey, look, Tank told him to put up $1 million. He said he's gonna put up $1 million. Now he said he's not gonna give it to him. These guys say a whole lot of stuff. All right, thanks.
So what was your second question?
Oh yeah, any update on Jamel's hand injury and when he could be back?
No, other than Zoo being anxious to get back in the ring because it's not on his timetable, I have not heard any firm update on that. He is the why actually for all the fighters who are fighting in July, he is the one name I haven't heard, which was the original plan.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yep, you got it.
All right, now we saw AJ come out and say he's fighting Wilder in December, which is so far away. I just can't even get excited for it, to be honest with you. But but he confirmed he's fighting Wilder in December. DAZN, Joe McCarthy of DAZN said that's not their plans.
Right.
That's not what they thought. But if you look at the supposed schedule, you got Derrick James has Frank Martin, Earl Spence, and Jamel Charlo with tentative fights. Right. So there's really no room to train AJ for a summer fight.
Right.
Correct? Okay, so he's really out until December.
I will say,
and is that wider news? Is that like for real? All
right, I'm going to try to give a linear update on this. Everything that Joe Markowski said was in line with my own interview with Eddie right before the BAM fight. I spoke to Eddie, I think it was Thursday. Thursday during fight week for when BAM fought Christian Gonzalez. Everything that Markowski said, Eddie told me exactly that. He was expecting to come back July, maybe August. They were looking at Dillian White as the leading candidate for that fight. And then by the time I got off the plane, I saw AJ's tweet, well, not fight until December, part of a bigger plan or whatever. So there is some severe disconnect. As for the Wilder stuff, none of that is done, but I am told those talks are very real for trying to get all those fights in Saudi Arabia. So I forget the guy's name, Amir Abdal, whatever his name is. There is involvement in trying to make all those fights happen. That is a very real conversation.
Well, maybe that's the holdup with getting an agreement from Crawford. He done found some Middle East. All right, go ahead, Lex.
Jake, what's good, bro?
What's up, Lex? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I was a little late, so I don't know if you touched on Teofimo, but so I'm sure you saw what he said. What do you know anything about what people are saying behind the scenes as far as his comments go?
I mean, I haven't gotten Top Rank, obviously is going to no comment stuff like that. Nobody's particularly happy with what he said. I don't know where he was going with that. I don't get his sense of entitlement. Look, he blasted Top Rank throughout 2021 when he thought that he was going to make all this money against Kambosos. He thought he was going to tear through him and then just name his own price for any fight moving forward. Top Rank brought him back. They took every step possible to make sure he was mentally in the right place to bring him back into the ring. I'm not even 100% convinced that they believe he's all the way back in that regard. But so for him to come out and say all this nonsense is, I just don't. Obviously, you know where it comes from because his father's right there saying all the same shit and even more. So he's a problem.
Yeah, I agree. He's I thought the time off of social media was going to help him, but it doesn't seem so. He also said that he has one last fight with Top Rank. Is that true or no?
Top Rank did not dispute that. They didn't confirm it. They didn't deny it.
Okay.
Yeah, I looked up that when he signed an extension, it was through 2023. So, he might have one last year. Maybe they get him if he wins, they get him another fight this year. But yeah, I looked it up. He did. His extension was through 2023.
And he better hope that he wins, because if he doesn't, like I said, that's a lot of baggage for anyone else to take on.
If he doesn't, he'd be sitting. You see my header picture with Don King and AB. He'd be sitting right on the other side of Don King.
And real quick, and just as a little bow on this, I would like to point out that Jake is the only reporter that I've seen to categorically call out Tiafimo's comments as indeed racist. Like, that was crazy. And it kind of goes back to his interactions with Devin Haney when he was dropping N-bomb after N-bomb. You know, it's I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with this, man. This kid, he needs help. You know, he really does need help. Maybe
that's it. And that's why this is exactly why I've never really said anything about all the stuff he's had, because I know he has a lot of stuff going on. I've seen people talk junk about, his ex-wife left him for, she had to have left him for a black dude or some shit. It's like all that shit doesn't need to be brought to play. Look, I know he has a lot of stuff going on. This is why I've never tried to comment on it. But when you come out with nonsense like this, it has to be called out.
Agreed. Go ahead, Marshy.
Yeah, and Marshy, before you ask your question, people already trying to play about, whataboutisms with Josh Taylor. I am not a Josh Taylor fan by any stretch of the imagination either. I'm not rooting really for either one of them in this fight. Go ahead, Marshy.
How you doing, Jake? How you doing, Left? How you doing, MVO? I just wanted to ask: is there any news on Chocolatito fighting or Estrada?
No.
Or any of them going to be fighting anytime soon?
I've asked about all of them. I have not heard any good updates. I thought when who was it? Christopher Rosales pulled out of that Alvarado fight, I thought for sure he was going to get one of those two fights, or even go straight to Sonny Edwards because he is affiliated with Matchroom. But I've not heard any updates on any of those guys. And I've asked repeatedly.
Wait, so that Chocolatito fight that J-Ro tweeted wasn't a real fight?
Which one did he tweet?
What he was fighting someone named Pedro Guevara or something like that?
That would make sense because Guevara was supposed to fight Andrew Maloney for an eliminator.
So that's a real fighter.
That could be because he's his former junior flyweight champ.
Oh.
He was supposed to fight Andrew Maloney in a final eliminator. He was even at the WBC convention, basically begging for that fight. The WBC, they both agreed to it. They were waiting for a date until Andrew got the chance to fight the WBO title. So Guevara fighting Chocolatito would make sense because that would become the mandatory for Estrada.
Matt just want to hear you say J-Ro as well. That's all.
Yeah, thank you much.
You just want to hear you say J-Ro.
Oh, come on. Don't do that.
I believe J-Ro's right on this. And for fights like this, he usually is.
Okay. Somebody had a question. Is Riley's upcoming fight still non-title? There were rumors Puello's title will be up for grabs.
So that is to be determined. Puello has not been stripped because he still has the chance to clear his name. At worst, the WBA could name him champion in recess during this period, but I mean he's complied with every step, so they still have to make a ruling on that before they determine the title status. I pointed this out. Look, this isn't Rolly hate. I know he was promised a shot at Puello for the title. That doesn't necessarily mean he's entitled to the very next shot at that title. All he's really entitled to is a fight with Puello. So once that title becomes available, the WBA has made a mess of that mandatory situation. So there are a lot of guys that are standing in line waiting for a shot. So that's Rolly's fight in terms of trying to get there. And because the WBA already abolished all of its interim titles, this is actually a situation where it would, this is a fight that, would be worthy of having an interim title while that mess gets sorted out. So that's why I think last week when they said that fight was coming up, they announced it. I forget how they phrased it, a fight with whatever implications. But that's really where it's at. They can't call this a title fight up until the WBA makes a ruling.
We need Rolly with
maybe Rolly could fight for Floyd's new belt.
Exactly. So the only benefit is that Barroso is the mandatory. The problem is that O'Hara Davies is also. I don't know if he's the second mandatory or if he has to win another fight to get a shot. But like I said, and they have another eliminator on the undercard. So it's like they just keep stockpiling all these guys who believe they're owed a title shot. So for Rolly to already jump the queue, that's the big fight that they have right now.
But Rolly with a title would be
fun,
great content.
Yeah, I agree.
Great content. Anybody? We got any more questions y'all want to come up and ask?
Rolly might be the only one crazy enough to fight Matias as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Matias, Regis, any of them. Yeah.
Mendiza, you got a question?
Yeah, what's the chances of abolishing the entire middleweight division, Jake? If that's not possible, any news on what the hell's going on? Ammo in particular, I'm hearing he might have a shot again. I know it's all
you hear a lot
rumors,
of things,
but I've seen an article about Conor Coyle. I hear a lot of things in the streets now, but I heard something about Conor Coyle. I think Bug tweeted it or something like that about he might be fighting Ammo for the title or something. But I thought Lara was the WBA champ, but again, middleweight's complicated division.
I missed the name.
Is Ammo got shot or not?
I'm sorry, I missed the name somewhere in there. Who did you say was supposed to fight for the WBA title?
I heard Ammo might be fighting
Ammo
Conor Coyle.
I got you. Who?
Yeah.
Really?
Exactly.
I don't know. It's confusing because I think Lara's the elevated champ. So I don't know.
Lara's the champ, and he has to fight Zarafa. That fight was supposed to go to first bid. I don't know what's holding it up.
Maybe Charlo versus Lara's holding it up. Unification, baby.
And while we're in the, we don't really have many fights left. If you can look up at the top and go and vote in my 140-pound single elimination bracket. Tell me who wins round by round. Have you seen that, Jake?
I did. Miguel Cotto, Danny Garcia, all Puerto Rican final. There you go. Chavez Pryor is the easy default.
I don't know, man. Look, people sleeping on Bradley versus Pryor. Man, tell me.
So you're saying Bradley would get past Josh Taylor?
What's up, Left?
Hell yeah.
I don't know.
What's up, Left?
Do you have any more Maul Charlo questions?
Oh,
I'm about to give you his phone number.
But I seen an article yesterday that said Zarafa. He said he's gonna let Garcia and Danny and Lara fight. I think I seen an article yesterday about that.
Right. That was the holdup. That's why talks never really went anywhere. I didn't know if that fight was still in play. But, so that tells me Elvis, whatever fight he was, his manager, Elvis Grant Phillips. I guess he got whatever he wanted out of that deal.
Where are we at with Dubois and Usyk?
They're still in talks.
Okay.
Their deadline is next week, I believe. They're still in talks.
All right. Don't give up hope, Wilder fans.
Go ahead,
Don't
Brian.
give up hope.
You said me? You said I go ahead?
Yeah, Brian. Who else?
Hey, Jake. What's up with Boots, man? He took less punishment than Tank, and Tank been in the ring another time before him.
Well, Tank creates a lot of revenue. Right. I mean, Tank can fight every other month because so much revenue he creates. Not physically he can't, but he creates a lot of revenue.
Tank could also announce a date, not have an opponent, and find an opponent very quickly.
True. But Boots actually should have been back in the ring the next day.
So
just check us out.
I was always told, months ago that June was always supposed to be the plan for his return. So I don't know what's going on. I know at one point he was shopping around venues, trying to do something either in Philly or in Atlantic City, but no firm update on that front.
And last question, this for you, Left. What's up with Gary Russell Jr.? Jake?
Which one?
Gary Allen.
Antoine? Gary Allen? Shit.
No, I was saying that question for you. I was asking Jake's for you. What's up with Gary?
I got you. So once upon a time, PBC was trying to do a Hector Garcia, Gary Russell fight. That got interrupted because I guess it didn't get signed in time. The WBA ordered Garcia to fight Lamont Roach next. Gary Russell's name is another that I've heard coming back for July, but I don't know against who.
What about Gary Antoine? He was supposed to be on the roll.
He's injured,
right?
Yeah, correct. He was pulled because he has a hand injury.
He got a hand injury?
That's what I was
Is Antonio retired?
That I've not heard.
Probably is. Antonio ain't never really been in the boxing. But all right, go ahead, BB.
Are the rumors true that there is so little confidence in Alexander Usyk's draw power when he's not paired alongside a superstar that he is being sent to Poland to fight Daniel Dubois?
I've not heard Poland.
What? Are you trolling, VB?
It was on your website. I mean, it was on Boxing Scene, Poland.
I saw the story.
You didn't hear that?
I did. That's not.
Who wrote the article? Did it say Boxing Scene staff? which could be some random guy. Did it say Jake Donovan? Did it say Hans?
It definitely did not say Jake Donovan because that was not. I have heard that if the fight takes place, it'll be in England.
I'm like Ezra. I don't read articles. I just read the headlines, and I saw the headline. I have no idea who wrote it.
Did the bald-headed stooge write it?
No, Keith Heidick would not write something like that.
Oh, okay.
And he's not. I'm not.
Yeah, you did. Thank you, Jake.
No, I'm not. I know who you're talking about. He's not a bald-headed stooge by any stretch.
I like Keith Heidick. He's entertaining.
Keith and I did not write. Yeah, I don't. I have not heard any talk about that fight taking place in Poland.
Wow, that would be something else. Wait. Speaking of Usyk, what was this thing with Usyk firing off a missile in the Ukraine? What the fuck is going on? He could have hurt somebody. Come on, man.
I don't mean to laugh. I know. I just
like, what's wrong with this guy? Yeah. Oh my gosh, you got to stick to the dancing. This is crazy, man.
Boots brought up that Boots' last opponent is fighting tonight.
Who we talking about?
You talking about Karen?
Karen? Yeah.
Karen.
Yeah. Karen. Boots said he's fighting tonight. Go ahead, Marshy.
Jake, all right, Jake. Are Top Rank and Matchroom actually trying to do something with Bertobi Smith, or is it just going to go to a purse bid?
I was told the last update I got was that talks were extended. I do believe they are trying to do something. It's just a matter of who gets control of the fight. Because obviously Matchroom wants to put it in Liverpool, and Top Rank wants to put it in Canada or anywhere that's not Liverpool.
All right, cheers, mate.
Yes, sir.
What about Rick Majorian? Isn't either one of these guys managers, right?
Who, Bertobi and Smith? No, no, he's not involved.
We know how quick he'll pull out of a purse bid. All right, go ahead, Hitman.
Yeah, Jake, is there a possibility we see you versus Jojo Diaz sometime this year?
I have no clue what that was about. He deleted. I was never going to respond to that to begin with. I don't know where that came from.
Wait, what happened?
I saw
because me personally, Jake, I wouldn't take that if I were you. I wouldn't take that. I think you could. I saw it. I said I could either respond or I could just let it sit there and let all my followers just cook.
Well, what did he say to you?
He deleted it.
Oh, I missed it.
I'm gonna.
He said something that had nothing to do with.
Did he call you a bald-headed stooge?
Basically.
Oh, that damn bastard! I'll get him for you.
Might as well call me.
I'll tell you exactly what he said, because even though he deleted it, still should show up.
Yeah, I didn't even know. But I didn't know Jake had beef with fighters.
No,
I don't.
Jake was saying that. What was your tweet again?
It was about the Teofimo stuff, and he quote tweeted that.
Yeah, he quote tweeted. I'm talking about some writers like you be trying to get information. It had nothing to do with what the hell Jake was talking about or Teofimo. It was just a weird ass tweet. He deleted.
And as a writer, it is my job to get.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Isn't that your job?
Yeah, exactly.
That is.
Maybe it was a compliment.
Snoop around and get info.
Maybe it was a compliment. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and VV Nadeem said that's propaganda. Usyk's hair can't grow that long that fast.
I will say when I saw those photos, I'm like, that did not look like any Usyk I've seen in recent times. But I don't know, his hairstyle changes as often as Bad Bunny. So.
All right, go ahead, Luis.
Hey, what's up, Jake? Lefty and Vio.
Luis.
Do you have any clue what Marlon Tapales is going to be doing? Do you know what their plan is moving forward?
Who?
Tapales one that beat MJ.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, he is going to wait out Inouye Fulton if a mandatory does not get ordered before then. I know the WBA is standing down. They're going to allow Inouye Fulton to take place, and if he can get a voluntary fight in between, then they'll allow that. Otherwise, he will be ordered to make a mandatory.
Oh yeah, that's great.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's Tomoki Kameda who is the mandatory.
I mean, not the mandatory is great. I mean, him being able to wait out that fight.
Who are we talking about?
Motivation. Marlon Tapales, who
the
just
one to beat MJ.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yes.
So we have a good shot. We actually have a decent shot at undisputed fight.
Not that it matters.
If none of the sanctioning bodies get in the way by the end of July, yes.
And Tapales is with Gibbons.
He's with everyone. He has a whole bunch of promoters,
and we know that Inoue isn't shy about spending money,
right,
to get a guy over there to fight. So yeah. Either way the winner goes, we could get it undisputed this year.
Tapales is not locked into any network.
Well, I received the exact quote from Jojo Diaz. Said, Jake, you ain't the one talking. You be trying to get any info, false or true, about a fighter just to get reads. People like you shouldn't be commenting, not knowing what's going on truly on the inside. What's your response to that?
And that had nothing to do with Jake.
All right. Listen, who cares? What's your response, Jake?
Look, the only interruption to my day that caused was Lefty and Hitman DMing me saying, "Did you see this shit?" I did not break stride. I saw it. It annoyed me, but I had work to do, and I just went on.
Which fighters are you accused of? I was putting false info for clicks. You don't ever really promote your articles like that. It's so weird that he said that. But I want to know who he's talking about. Is he talking about him with his DUI? It got to be him. I mean, if I were you, I'll call him a drunk, an alcoholic. And if I was really you, I would talk about his civil suit with the little girl. Okay, it's time for you to fight back, Jake. You're a New Yorker, Jake.
I don't need to, because I know you guys will bring it up. I don't need to.
Man.
I don't need to say any of this. I know.
You know Ray jump on his ass. Ray already sent him to hell once. Come on. Okay, you said you had a story coming up about Lamont Roach and Luis Garcia.
Yeah, I'm still trying to firm up details. I know it won't go to first bid, but look, I've been burned on these situations before where I've been told it's not going to first bid and the fight's going to happen, but I don't know if that means an agreement has been reached for Hector Luis Garcia to defend his title, whether it's against Lamont Roach or not. I do know it's not going to first.
Okay, so I wish we could have got the Gary Russell versus Hector Luis. So I guess this could come first. We get this out the way.
Well, Lamont Roach can beat him, and then we get that all, DC fight. We get Lamont Roach and Gary Russell.
True. All right, go ahead, Vivi.
Should boxing fans hold out hope for Dimitri Bivol fighting again this year against anyone the general public has heard of?
Look, the clear play is for him to fight Canelo again. So, any answer to that before May 6th would be irresponsible. Well, I should say before May 6th.
Let me ask you this question. Golden Boy, on the Golden Boy card, on the Canelo undercard, you have Vosnik fighting.
Yeah.
His second fight this year.
Right.
Is it possible of a Vosnik versus Bivol fight later this year, which I think would be a good fight?
If Bivol cannot get Canelo, Vosnik, the fact that he's back, and I guess, people are interested in his name, that's a fight that would make sense.
Yes, and that means that he would have had 3 fights. 2, that would be his 3rd fight this year, so people can't say that he's rusty or
correct.
He's been out of the ring too long.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying? And Bivol, what was the last time Bivol fought? Last year?
When he fought Zulo Ramirez, correct.
Yeah.
Bivol don't have no mandatory?
No, Zulo was.
Zurdo was a mandatory.
Yeah. I'm so used to Triple G to making them give him mandatories back to back that I forgot.
Man, they're not gonna give him a mandatory when there's a possibility that he could fight.
Of course, exactly. Yeah.
So Joshua Boazzi is not moving the needle.
He fights next week. He fights on the same day as Canelo. So
you didn't even know. Same way.
Yeah, I just found out just now. I think. Listen, maybe that's what JoJo talking about. Because that got to be false. What Jake just said. There's no way Joshua Boazzi is fighting next week. Because I never heard of him. Well, never heard of it.
He's fighting in Birmingham, England.
It's not even on the deadline, is it?
And he is fighting. He is fighting next weekend because he is not fighting Bivol. That he is not fighting for Matchroom anymore because he did not take the Bivol fight that was offered. He had his reasons. I respect his reasons, but
no. Why?
Yeah, I respect him too because if he don't think he could beat the dude, then I don't want to see you in the ring with him.
Now, why are we pushing for Bivol versus Better BF? I don't understand what's going on here.
Look, to me, I know people get excited about these undisputed fights. I know maybe because of Better BF's age, that fight has an expiration date. It's just I don't care if that fight takes place personally. I'm sorry to say, I don't care. Look, great if it's undisputed, but the thing with all these undisputed fights is like you finally get them, and then the titles
But
get
it's
broken.
not even just undisputed for me with this one. It's that we don't know who the best guy at 175 is. I think it's better BF.
Okay.
Some people think it's Bivol just because he beat 168-pound Canelo. So I want to see.
I respect that, but how much does a fight like that cost?
Hold up,
and who is
Bivol
going
has
to pay
beaten
for it?
the same guys that fucking Berturbiev has beat, damn near, except for Vasquez.
Okay, but look
He
at
get his
what
ass
Joe
in shape.
Smith did against Bivol versus against Better BF. He got smoked against Better BF.
Yeah, he got beat.
Listen, he dazed and confused
He had
Bivol.
he had one moment.
Okay, and
Exactly.
and Julio Cesar Chavez built his career off of one moment with Sergio Martinez. It happens. Shit, Jack Reese built his whole referee career off of one moment with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. It happens.
Yeah.
Okay. Johnny wants to know: do you have any news on Frank Martin's next fight?
Who is Johnny? No, I don't. His name did come up for July, but no, I don't have any news.
Well,
hey man, we are almost 6 months into this year. No, well, we are a month away from 6 months to this year.
Okay.
Some of these guys need to get moving.
Yeah.
When you start talking about Frank Martin, you know it's time to end the show.
Yes, I need the Frank Martin fight because lightweight is heating up. His name is being put in the mix with the other guys, so I need a Frank Martin fight. Is it possible he fights De Los Santos?
No. Short answer is no.
I will look. It's clear if the fight is offered, De Los Santos would certainly take that fight, and I'm not saying Frank Martin wouldn't, but I've not heard that fight mentioned yet.
Brian, what are you doing back, Brian? What are you doing? What, Brian?
Bori. You got to call him Bori again. Bora, I mean. Bora. Brian. Unmute your mic.
God.
You embarrassing me in front of my YouTube friends. God damn. Who else got a question?
That's it, Lefty. It's time. It's time for the fat lady to sing.
I got some more questions because I missed.
Well, that's great, but we need to talk about the New York Knickerbockers, Jake. We finally won a series. Not only did we win it, we won the series easily. How good are you feeling right now? And do you think we can take out those hated Miami Heat?
I've been telling. I said at the very least, I have at least 1999 feels about this team. So
I like that.
Yeah. Don't Jimmy Butler play for the Heat?
He does.
Yes.
Yeah,
he ain't that good.
I know. See, this is the second straight series where
I don't even watch basketball that much, and I know that.
Yeah, this is the second straight series where I'm actually rooting hard for a player on the opposite team.
Well, you're rooting for Jimmy Butler?
Yeah.
Why?
How could you not like Jimmy
Butler? Because he
doesn't
play for
why
the
not?
team.
How could you not?
What the fuck?
What is there not to like about him? So look,
ugly.
I've covered Darius Garland's high school career out here, so I was happy that he had a good series, even though if that series went the way I wanted it.
If the Lakers win a championship, old Playground would come out of retirement and play at the Chicken Talk Invitational at the Bud versus Spence fight. Now listen, if they don't get this fight done, that means y'all miss the Chicken Talk first annual basketball game. Do y'all understand how important it is to get this fight done? Okay? I got me. Can you hoop, Jake?
No.
We need a white boy who can shoot jumpers. Me and Matt are on the same team. He playing center. I'm point guard. We got Chase. We got Whiskers. We got Nebra. These are guys that play college ball. And then on the other end, we got the twins, Rich and Ray. Ray think he could check me, but he got another thing coming. We got who was the other people? We got First Right. He think he could check Matt, but he got another thing coming. We got Boxing Beats Boxing. Supposedly he got a little game on him. I don't know about all that. Who else do they have on their team? That's three.
JG.
They also, huh? Oh
JG.
yeah, JG. JG played a little ball, but I got the secret weapon coming off the bench that y'all don't even know about.
the promotional situation is for Ashaki. The promotional situation is for Ashaki. Foster. I'm just trying to see if they're wasting our time with the. It's got the title, so that's the unification. If it was PBC, I knew it was a waste of time. But if he's actually kind of free, then
all right, Gary. That's the second time you hold on. That's the only time you said that. What you mean by that, huh?
Yeah, I peeped too.
Cordina will crush everything.
What does that mean, Gary? That PBC will be a waste of time?
No. As in I'm just talking about the herd.
That's a small talk.
Does that satisfy you?
Yeah.
Because that is a valid point.
All right, Jake Shembri, what do you want?
Hold on, hold on. O'Shaquie Foster is on the website for PBC.
Yeah, I thought he had a deal. He just fought on Showtime. So.
Who said he had a deal?
That was a mandatory fight.
That was a mandatory fight. We talking about actually a deal.
Oh, okay.
Where's that dude that just came up? I guess he ain't had no questions. But yeah, O'Shaquie Foster versus Cordina ain't happening. So don't get your hopes up, Gary.
But okay, we just said he's not with PBC. Though doesn't that mean there is a chance it's happening? If he's a free agent or whatever the hell he is, or with Probellum or whatever, that seems more realistic to me now.
Probellum doesn't
If someone
exist.
had said he's with PBC, then I'd have said.
You know why it's not realistic to me? Because it's being talked about.
It's true.
Look, any fight like that is going to be discussed immediately after someone wins, or in Joe Cordina's case, regains his title. So,
yeah. So who are the other champions at 130?
Hector Garcia is the WBA champ, and then Emmanuel Navarrete.
Yeah, because that's a Valdez situation, isn't it? Navarrete that's gonna be Valdez later in the year, I imagine. So
you might upset the apple cart. You never know. Lopez put him down once before, and Lopez was 126 when he weighed in for that fight. Don't nobody else remember that?
I do. Yeah, he took that fight. Yeah, 24 hours notice. Game this guy. Yeah. I said it. I found it a little curious that he's been willing to take that rematch. Now that Lopez has looked a little suspect in his past couple of fights.
That's true. But
we'll see. Oscar Valdez is exactly the type that fights up and down to the level of his competition, with the exception of Shakur, of course. So he just simply was not good enough to rise to the occasion.
I think Shakur he's been fighting a lot more up than down.
No, I'm talking about Valdez.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm saying Valdez fights up and down. No, Shakur always fights up.
But don't forget Cool Boy beat Adam Lopez when they was both just still prospects. So.
I got kicked out of the ring.
Why?
So I was that was the very last show I worked for PBC. I was helping take notes. I said I got to get quotes from Stephen Fulton. They said go in the ring and go ask him. So I asked them, and for whatever reason, they put it on TV, and Ray Flores announced that I was interviewing him. And then I guess Al made phone calls to everyone at ringside saying, "Why is Jake in the ring?" That was it.
He said, "Get that cracker out the ring."
Were you rubbing testosterone cream on anybody, Jake?
No, absolutely not. So, but that was actually my profile pick for quite a long time. Me interviewing Stephen Fulton back when they were both undefeated.
And now Stephen Fulton too good for Philly. Unbelievable.
Why you say that? He was just saying Philly don't fuck with us, huh?
Okay. Whatever.
Now, what about this? How many are they expecting for Canelo versus Ryder?
I forget how much that venue holds. I'm sure it's a sold out event.
What about Haney versus Loma?
I have not heard any ticket updates on that. I haven't really tracked it.
Shit, if they don't announce that damn Spence fight versus Buzz, you might as well go to that motherfucker. I mean, seriously.
No, you're not going to Teofimo versus Taylor?
Hell no. Teofimo will never see another dime of mine. Matter of fact, I got the ESPN Plus app, but I'm still streaming. Okay. Why you going? You gonna support? You going, Matt?
Maybe. It's in New York, man.
It's Puerto Rican Day holiday.
Yeah, maybe I will stay home. I'm gonna try and get stabbed. Those stabbing Puerto Ricans. Stabbity, stab, stab, stab.
Okay, Tio. We got anything else?
Yeah, I said there was an appropriate. I guess that's it.
Stabbity.
I bet you won't go on your.
You goddamn right. I don't want them to get up off the couch that they have inside the hallway to stab me. You absolutely.
Be honest with you.
Man, so right was right. Damn.
I'm gonna be on the sideline with my bottle of Crown, coaching. Okay. I already got my team picked out.
Yeah, Matt, to answer your question, I can play basketball. That does not mean I ball. So if I'm on the court, I would be the 10th best guy on the court.
Damn it.
Bro, if I get out on the court, I am not making it to the fight unless somebody wheel me in the wheelchair. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Let's be
like Tank at the Super Bowl.
Now we want to do some exactly. We want to do some horseshoes. I'm down.
What is that?
Horseshoe. You never play horseshoes? It's when you throw the horseshoe at the little
cornhole.
It's similar to cornhole, but you play with horseshoes, and it's a stake in the ground that you got to get it wrapped around or close to.
I'm saying far away from any type of horses.
You ain't I can tell you ain't never been out of New York.
I went to Alabama last year.
Except for that one time. You got to have like a yard.
Oh no, we don't got no yards out here.
What was that? What was that game you was trying to tell everybody?
Skelly, yeah.
Skelly. Yeah, ain't nobody heard
Jake knows Skelly.
Well, he's from New York. You know Skelly, Jake?
Jake about to disappoint me.
Jake from Long Island, though, right?
Sorry, yes, I know.
They got yards.
I also know horseshoes. I heard of horseshoes long before I heard of cornhole, too, to be honest. I never heard of cornhole until I moved down here.
Cornhole is just it came along later.
Yeah.
It's
I was so ignorant to cornhole when I heard the term. I was like, why are you asking me about this?
Yeah, you need yards to play these games.
Can't play. What you doing? Hitting on you, Jake?
What about pickleball?
I've seen
what? I never heard of that.
Pickleball is big in New York.
I ain't never heard that.
Bro, them old people playing pickleball is ready to go to war with them kids at the park.
What is it?
Shit, I don't know.
That's how you know badass
who's
gonna be
stuck in the
outside
playground right now? Oh boy.
He about to work on his jumper. Coming in off the bench. Ryan, you know how to play football, basketball? Who else? KB, can you play? A-Side, can you play? What sports A-Side play? Do A-Side look like the
Nah.
I don't get athleticism from A-Side when I
that nigga is stocky as hell.
A-Side a damn goon. Now, if a fight break out on the court, I would want A-Side on my team. I tell you that.
For shit show.
Because he might.
Steal your wallet and help.
A-Side remind me of Charles Oakley.
Who else is there? Crystal, you could be.
Hey man, I gotta. I'm a little.
TJ, we know you.
I can play, nigga. For real.
TJ look like he maybe could play some baseball.
I did used to play baseball for real. Man.
Yeah, see, I can tell.
I can play basketball. Too. I ain't like super elite, but I can get out there.
Yeah, we all can get out there.
We can all give it a
go,
get out
there effectively.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can. You feel me? Shoot, pass and shit.
Yeah, just pass.
Nah, I can score. NBA, you fucking 6'7". Do you play ball, nigga? You understand? 21.
Bust your ass, nigga.
Yeah, nigga.
Yeah, young boy.
Hello, fellow Negroes. And Jake.
Is that Zig?
Nah, it's Calm, nigga.
My nigga Calm.
Oh, the Muslim guy.
My Philly brethren.
I'm finna get me some Jamaican food.
Are you? You gonna get goat?
Yeah. Right, so.
Bro, I thought you was fasting.
Wrong with our Nova, man.
Yeah, that ended last
I'm
week.
at my mom's house looking through some photo albums.
Of what?
Me?
Aren't you about to bring back memories?
Yeah, it's pretty nostalgic.
Back in your Haram days?
What did you used to play?
I was a baby, so not really.
What about Ty? Y'all think Ty can play ball?
Hell no.
Everybody in Philly can play ball. What are you saying?
Fucking prison ball. I don't know about.
Everybody in Philly
Wait a minute, TJ. Whoa, dude.
I'm sorry. It need to be a black football game.
Nah. He disrespected my man Ty just now. Hold on.
Yeah, that's my nigga.
Nah, come on, dog.
Pause. Whoa.
What about Hitman? Hitman got some height.
Hitman cannot play basketball.
Hitman got some height.
Hitman cannot play basketball. Listen, Groove, we're not stupid. We know the real beef between you and Deontay Wilder started because he bust your ass on the court. Yo, girl. Friends can play basketball. He could probably bust your ass with that silly hat he used to wear. Okay. KB will bust your ass.
Guard
Wait, George.
MVO, dog. I want to guard MVO, dog. He talking all that cash stuff, man. I'm gonna make
MVO talk.
MVO about Wild. Like, we saw you next to Wilder. He gonna post you up and drop you. Man.
Tony Allen.
I heard
right?
you were great.
So,
I heard that.
I heard you are 20 years old.
That motherfucker talking about prime.
Man, that was nice.
He's 19, man.
Nigga, 19.
Fuck out of here.
I heard Ray Jackson shaped like the yellow M&M. So
On a commercial.
you know he can't play ball. You know he can't play ball, man.
Hey, we might get a softball game for real. Y'all want to do basketball? See, that's a new. Hey, left. Hey, left. Why? Hey, left. Why? You bullshit. We could play kickball.
Kickball. We are.
Yeah, we now you talking. Now you talking.
Hey, why you bullshit? We could.
Oh, that's the dodgeball.
Oh no! Don't do that, Carl. Don't do that.
Oh no! Yeah, let's play dodgeball. Talk. Yeah, hit man. Let's play
Listen,
dodgeball.
when I went to
No! I want you on the other team. I'm beaming. I'm beaming the fuck up out you.
I'm gonna beam your ass.
Man, hold on. Y'all old asses talking about throwing the damn dodgeball.
No, let's play dodgeball. Just for
Come
hitting
on,
me.
left. Come on, left. I know who you want to check the dodgeball right at, Matt.
Okay, Ron just joined. Y'all think Ron boy?
Hell no, not with them shorts.
Yeah,
Ron boy like 6'3". Hey, Ron boy like 6'3" in shape.
Well, if we play dodgeball, I want Truth on my team because I know if Truth get hit in the face with a ball, he fucking everybody up.